welcome to our session. And I'm joined today, I'm Christina Grimion. I'm joined today by my colleagues Tracy, Joyce, and Adam Mahmood. And we are here to present to you regarding Jamf Parent and its importance in both the education world and the healthcare world.
And as we are presenting this, we understand that not everyone watching today is a parent, but we understand that we all likely have someone in our life, a young person who uses technology, because they all do. And we want to share this tool with you that can help you as a parent, as a guardian, as somebody who has a child in a healthcare situation, that the Jamf Parent app can really be used to help create those guardrails that gives that young person in your life a safe space to explore technology. We all want them to have the freedom to explore technology and really and have all of the wonderful things that come with technology. And the beauty of Jamf Parent is that can really complement your family values and what you want your child to see or not see. And so today we're going to give you a few different use cases and ways that we can approach Jamf Parent. The first one is parental engagement. And Christina and I are former educators. We were in the K-12 education space for more years than we really want to admit. But we know how important it is to bring those parents into the education process. And the Jamf Parent has some great functionality that allows the parents to really take control of that device when it leaves campus and it goes home with those students. The second place that we're going to stop is student safety and how we can use the Jamf Parent app to keep your child safe when they're in motion. Christina's going to talk a little bit more about that. And then Adam's going to round it out with how parents can use the Jamf Parent app in pediatric care. We're really excited to share with you how we have managed to marry the beauty of all of these different apps and Jamf Pro and Jamf School to create a really powerful learning experience and device use experience for our students or the patients. So we're going to start off with that parental engagement. Like we all know, it's really important for parents to be involved in the learning that is happening with their students. With the Jamf Parent app, and this is available on both Pro or Jamf School, parents have the ability to restrict games or apps or social media. You can do that by category of apps. You can also create customized rules. So for example, I did this with my own child when I knew that I wanted him to practice his spelling for a certain amount of time every day. I was able to lock his device into the Notes app and the spelling app so that he was only able to access those apps during that 30-minute time that I really wanted him to focus on that activity at hand. In the Jamf Parent app, you have that ability to lock your child's device, or if you have more than one child, we'll show you that you are able to coordinate and have several children in your Jamf Parent app. And being able to use this with both Jamf Pro and Jamf School is an added benefit. I have a school right now that is using Jamf School, and they have decided for the beginning of the school year, they are focusing on Jamf Parent first. So that is going to be their big push for the fall, is how do we get all of our parents up and running and understanding all the capabilities and all the things that they can control using that Jamf Parent app. And it's a great campaign to kick off the beginning of the year. And now Christina is going to share with you how can we set up those devices so that we are focusing on the student safety portion of it.
Thank you, Tracy. So in the student safety category, specifically making use on the Jamf School MDM side, we have motion-based as well as location. restriction capability. So we know how our students can be. We know they love their devices, and their faces can be in that device so much that they're distracted from their surroundings. Parents have the capability, again, to put restrictions in place based on types of motion. Within the app, the parent can choose between walking, running, cycling, and they can put restrictions in place such as limiting certain genres of apps, the ones that they love the most, social media, communication, such as TikTok, Instagram. Communication could be iMessaging, WhatsApp, all of those things that they tend to be distracted by, maybe walking home or riding home on their bike, which is quite daunting. Seen it done on their way from one location to the other. So parents have that capability, and it empowers them to know that their student is to be safe, not accidentally distracted by their device. They also can create custom rules in this area as well. And when we're talking about custom rules, it can also be placed so far as location based types of restrictions, such as if they're going to grandma's house or some other caregiver in the parent's absence, then the parent can make certain that that student is locked into what they should be learning at that particular time. If that particular caregiver can't oversee the learning, the parent can ensure that learning is still going on. So now let's see how technology actually enabled on the parent device. So we see here, we have the parent's phone. It just happens to be an iPhone, but this app is available on both iOS and Android. And we see a student's device on the right-hand side. Within the student's device and settings, there's a QR code that the parent is going to capture there and confirm, and then voila, the device is paired. So now the parent has control and can restrict the device. As Tracy mentioned earlier, we have some functionality restrictions here. We see that Safari has been turned off. We see that the camera has been turned off. And here we have the genre restrictions being put in place or can be put in place. Here are the customs restrictions. As Tracy mentioned, we can lock students into certain apps, as she did with her son in that spelling. Then just that the student's device responds quickly. And then we do see here where we can stop that restriction with the prompt there after you have put things into place. So just as easy it is to get get the device paired, it is as easy to put the restrictions in place as well as it is to stop any restriction or rules that are placed on the device. Okay. Now, Adam is going to share with you how awesome this solution can be in the healthcare arena and those environments. Adam?
All right. Thank you so much, Christina and Tracy, for taking us through just the amazing power that comes through the Jamf Parent application. You know, as core as it is to Jamf's heritage, focusing on education, healthcare is another important segment of our business that we've been focused on over the past many number of years. And in particular, for hospital customers, we introduced a new workflow many years ago to deploy out iPads and Apple TVs at the bedside. This being a new way to engage and empower patients throughout their duration of stay. But as you might imagine, some of those hospital institutions focus on pediatrics and specifically have children who might be admitted to a hospital and provided an iPad. Well, wouldn't it be great if we had the ability to take advantage of what we just talked about with the Jamf Parent application and how it can allow a parent or guardian to control that school-issued one-to-one device throughout the year? Wouldn't it be great to extend that capability to these hospital-owned iPads that are provided to a patient temporarily? That's exactly what we did last year. And we made sure that all of our existing functionality built around a specific Jamf Pro workflow with our patented solutions, Healthcare Listener, and Jamf Reset could all integrate with this temporary use of Jamf Parent on, of course, the parent's personal device. So what does this all look like? Well, it's very similar to what we saw a moment ago. In this case, with a Jamf Pro managed iPad that is used within the hospital, we would open up the self-service application to begin this parent process, of course, linking via QR code. And from here on out, from the Jamf Parent app itself, either running on iOS or Android, the process is really exactly the same as Christina showed you. Here we'll see that linking or pairing process that, of course, allows that guardian or parent to have that remote limited functionality. Now, everything we talked about before, less the location-based Jamf school-specific capabilities, will be present here for our healthcare Jamf Pro customers taking advantage of Jamf Parent. It's really cool to think about a parent who might not be able to be, right by their their child's bedside. Let's say they have to run home and cook dinner or take care of, some other family member. But knowing that they still have that ability to, let's say, guide their child's experience on that hospital-owned tech. Now, one thing in particular that I'm going to call out is the final bullet point here. The ability to clear this managed iPad's device passcode is huge. Why? Well, the whole topic here is around security. If these iPads are being used by patients, some of the applications that the health systems may choose to deploy might contain personal health information. And we absolutely wouldn't want wandering eyes to be able to take a peek at that information. So probably the best way to safeguard that is leveraging a device passcode implemented via configuration profile from Jamf Pro. Now, over the years with our patient bedside solution, frankly, it's been kind of hard for passcodes to be used. Let's face it, they're hard to remember. A patient, especially a pediatrics patient, but any patient who's admitted to a hospital, could have a lot on their mind and might actually be under, some medication that could alter their ability to remember a passcode. So in some cases, hospitals have opted to just not implement the passcode in lieu of making sure there's a bedside iPad that is accessible. But here, with this functionality in Jamf Parent, we're able to actually kind of merge the best of both worlds and enforce via Jamf Pro that passcode on the bedside device. But if the child forgets it, here's a simple way that mom, dad, or guardian can remove and reset the passcode, no IT required. So really, really cool intersection here of how the parent and its core kind of parent app and its core educational purposes can be reapplied into healthcare. Now, one final point here. Unlike perhaps a school-issued iPad that might stay with a child throughout their entire year, these patient journeys and device journeys are much shorter. In some cases, maybe a couple hours, in some cases, a few days. So what does this mean? Well, we need a simple way to ensure that that parent app that is controlling the hospital-owned iPad is automatically disconnected at the right time from that hospital-owned iPad. And that is the final component of this story. With Jamf's existing solutions to wipe iPads at the bedside automatically, specifically our Healthcare Listener solution, which is an electronic medical record integration to Jamf Pro, or the Jamf Reset app, which is an iOS app that can run on that bedside iPad and provide somebody at the bedside the ability to wipe the device when they need to. Well, when either of those workflows takes place, the Jamf Parent app will be automatically disconnected at home. So just a great way to see Jamf Pro, Jamf Parent, and our existing healthcare-specific solutions coming together. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Christina to show you a bit of what this looks like within the console.
Thanks, Adam. before we get to the console, yes, we have to set this up. MDM managers, both Jamf Pro and Jamf School have an area in settings where we're going to do this. So before you get there, however, you need to, either get with your curriculum team or someone that knows exactly how you want to put this into place. You're going to manage during the school day. When do your parents to manage or take accountability for the student learning at home? So that's something that you need to think about. Also, what apps do you want to be whitelisted so that they can't be blocked by parents? That's that second bullet point. Select apps based on the students' learning needs there. And then for the parent side of things, we want to make sure that we educate them. And there are some PD pieces that Jamf has already prepared and available to you via YouTube to educate parents on setting restrictions on their end based on student needs. We don't just want to lock them out of everything. We want to make sure that we are setting them up for success as well. And for both sides, both MDM manager and parents, we want to monitor and adjust as needed. If that time frame that you put in place for your parents is not enough, if you set it too far into the evening and it needs to back up some, again, by monitoring and adjusting, we can get the perfect percent for what on both sides of the page. So let's actually look at the instance here on the next slide. This is the Jamf Pro instance. If you are familiar with breadcrumbs, that's the teeny tiny links up there at the top above in the gray bar there. We are in settings and we are in the Jamf applications area. And you'll notice that we have some toggle switches. The very first one is actually turning it on. Yes, I want this on. Yes, it is that simple. The second one, do you want the parent to be able to pair to their student's device more than once? Why would you want this on? Well, sometimes there are issues where the machine has to be for shooting reasons, or it goes out for warranty repair and needs to have to be reset. And so that parent management piece may be wiped and needs to be reconnected. So that's why that would need to be placed on yes. And you want that parent to be able to clear that passcode, especially not only in the home education space, but as Adam spoke of, in the healthcare space. We need that on. So that's that third toggle yes, no switch. Then we have down below what device groups you want to be covered by this Jamf Parent application. That's the drop down there, and I have it set on all of my iPads. You could cover whatever groups you have set up in Jamf Pro. And finally, what time frames and days. Some institutions and organizations decide, hey, turn it on Sundays. The device is at home all the time on the weekend. And then on Monday through Friday, they set it after school day ends, inclusive of any enrichment or tutoring after school activities, usually 4 to 5 p.m. up until the wee hours of the morning, maybe 6 a.m., 5 a.m., 7 a.m. But that is, again, something that you decide per your organization or school needs. Okay. So yeah, that is the Jamf Pro side. Now I will turn it over to Tracy, who is going to show you what this looks like from the Jamf School side.
Great. Thanks, Christina. In your Jamf School instance, for those of you who are admins, you will see that within settings, there is a payload for the Jamf Parent app. Very similar to what you would see in Pro, but you can see that there is the quick button of enable it So if you want to enable it, and then you can give parents as much control or as little control as you want. So with the simple check boxes that are listed there, we have allowing parents to create those device rules, allowing the use of locations, and that very important one of allowing parents to clear the child's passcode. We have the timestamp that is available as well. And the other thing that you can do as an admin in Jamf Schools, you can preload your school year into it so that you know when there are actual holidays, when the students are going to be home. You don't want to be getting a call in the, over a winter break or something and have parents saying like, I can't control my child's device. Or I want to control my child's device. So you can preload those things if you want and have that reflected, the calendar reflected within your Jamf School instance. So that is what that piece of it looks like. And then lastly, we're just going to recap all of the different ways that we have introduced the use of the Jamf Parent app to you. As a reminder, we do have the iOS and the Android and Apple Watch app as well that are available for that Jamf Parent app. As we showed you, it works with both Jamf Pro and Jamf School, slightly different functionality, but not much. And lastly, this is all available today. So if this is something that is of interest to you and you are, want to dive deeper into it, download those apps. They're free. They're on the App Store, and you can explore how to arrange those and how to use those on your child's devices. So we're going to step back here a moment and pause and see if we have any questions from you, our virtual audience. And we really appreciate you taking the time to spend some time with us today to learn more about Jamf Pro or Jamf Parent.